Hi, folks, and welcome to Tisbury 33 Games. Something I usually don't do is this kind of reaction type content, but if you do not know, we just did drop a Things I Want to See in MLB The Show 25 franchise mode, and today, as was it today's 25th, we got the gameplay trailer, or the feature premiere trailer, or the fielding focus, whatever they call it. The little 5-minute trailer that kind of breaks down some things that is going to be coming to the franchise mode in MLB The Show. So I figured we'll go through and kind of see the things I liked, some of the things I would like to see more. Overall, the focus of this was more off-season based. Obviously, we have like a 55-minute kind of deep dive, like real nerd deep dive into like things I would like to see in MLB The Show someday. I knew it's pretty ambitious for it to all be in this one new cycle. So if you have not checked that out, please go check that out. It took me a while to make that video. I think it's really, really good, and I'm getting some nice feedback on it. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go make sure and check it out. Also, if you have not checked out the feature premiere video, go check that out. We'll be doing screenshots and kind of stopping and pausing, but we're not going to be showing the trailer here in this video. So if you have not, go watch it. It's like 5 minutes. Go find it on social media or on YouTube. MLB The Show 25. Their channels have everything there. Before we get into the kind of what I like, the specifics, overall, the feelings are like, okay, word, cool. Like that's, I think, the best way to describe it. Again, it was mostly off-season focused. That's like their big drive is like free agency this year, and like they're really trying to revamp it and make it like a really cool thing, which I think is dope. I think inherently that time in the game is automatically fun, even though it is very bare bones. And the changes they made actually look really, really cool if they're implemented well. Just the overall vibe of an off-season a sports game is fun, whether it be a football game, a hockey game, a basketball game, a baseball game. Just that, even if it's bare bones, like you can have fun with it. So I've never like thought the off-season needed super big revamping, but that was the main focus. Some of the other things that I really wanted, things like the coach morale system and other things. Again, go check out that video. I break everything down and how it could be implemented and what the effects could be. Didn't really see it. We will be getting in the next day or two, when this video drops, the feature premiere where they go in and basically do a live stream for like an hour or two and really dive into the mode. Maybe we get more stuff then, but I want to get this video out and just something real quick to do. So without further ado, again, the overall vibes are okay, cool. We're going to move. We're going to go. I'm going to kind of watch the video back over to pause, show little screenshots, show little things that I want to show to kind of express my excitement. Again, we will be doing an MLB The Show 25 franchise here on the channel as soon as the game drops, which I believe is March like 12th. Boston Red Sox, get ready for it. We're going to stream day one. We're going to stream the spring training. We're going to have a blast with that series. If you are fiending for content right now, on my channel, we have 100 plus videos of my Colorado Rockies franchise that's coming to an end very soon. This is the last season right now. We just started the playoffs, I believe. I have uploaded up. So the next couple of weeks, we will be kind of bringing that series to a close, and then we will also be streaming the final big long sim. So get your popcorn ready. Let's watch this thing, and let's react, and let me show you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. All right, first thing we see here is the new front office experience. Again, this is the big thing. New little just system on how everything is going. You see right here. Let me see. Can you see my? If I do this, maybe if I do this, you'll be able to see my mouse. If not, then I'm just talking gibberish. But you kind of have the top 150 free agents. You can kind of go over here. And also rumored to talk to. Thing in the past, you just kind of showed which teams have offered X contracts or whatever. So that's really cool that you're probably not going to see the exact years and money. Obviously, they still have all of the stats up here. The asking price fits these needs, and we'll show it later. And then also you notice it's not really by overall here. You had Kyle Tucker a little bit lower than Dylan Cease. So it's nice that it's not exactly by order per se, but yeah, so that's the first thing I noticed here on this first wave. Next thing that happens here is you need team needs. So just like in scouting, and we're seeing basically these screens be reused from scouting, you're able to pick, I believe, up to two. Yep, this is two needs right here. Things you need in your offseason. And players in priority slots that match will get boosted. So they have just like you have an interest meter in signing prospects coming out of the draft, you'll have an interest meter on guys wanting to sign with you. And they'll go dive more into that. But you can pick ground ball pitcher, power pitcher, finesse pitcher, lefty, righty, defense, speed, all types of things, which I think is really, really, really cool. Like, for example, this offseason, Red Sox need a right-handed power bat or just a right-handed bat. You can click that on base machine someone gets. So you can really kind of scope out maybe who's a good free agent and where your needs need to be. Or you can go in and select your needs and they kind of filter out free agents. So I think that's pretty cool. And that's, it adds something to this. All right, next screen we see, again, more of this free agent system. So basically like in the signing period where you're able, let me just put my phone on mute. When you're able to negotiate with players and you get the interest, and priority 1 has more interest than priority 2, and you kind of have to balance between, all right, this guy is my number 1 pick, but this guy has already more interest up. How do I balance getting both of them signed? Just like here, you can have, looks like up to 3 guys in priority. You see the demands right here. You see they increased the numbers this year, which is awesome, which is dope. No rumors yet on him. You see right here, plus 7% interest each week. They have it broken down by weeks, week 1 of 16. So just nice little things that we see right here, which helps really prioritize which guys you want on which. All right, so they're talking about updating the logic in X player can sign and why they're signing. If you noticed in the past, some teams that aren't traditionally big market teams or traditionally big market teams can go out and get big market players. And some of the big market teams stopped acting like it because it's basically every team can offer big money guys, unless you offer big money, aren't going to these small market teams that suck. You see right here on this in the priority 2 here, team quality, they have that as an underdog, whatever team this is, which means that motivation is decreased for that player signing there. However, something like position competition is important to this player. So there's no block. He would be the number 1 player in whatever position they want. Motivation increased. You see right here, this is the big one. Motivation to sign at 47%. Contract offer unlocks at 50%. So you can't even offer contracts to guys unless they're interested. I think that's super, super, super cool. Also, something we noticed from last screen that we didn't show, calling agent to learn players' motivation to sign. So it looks like you have to basically attribute actions to guys, and basically like scouting in those old NCAA games where you call, or even the new NCAA game now that we have a new one back. You kind of call in, you scout here, you allocate points here, there, and you kind of learn about the player, and you got to balance going after a guy versus where do you put your points. I think this is like super cool. Options, variety, make us make choices, and that's the big thing from any franchise mode that I want to see. Right here they were talking about big free agents are market centers, and until sometimes, just like in real life, a lot of the market this year, Juan Soto. Where's Juan Soto going to go? Where's Juan Soto going to go? Everyone waited and who was going to give up the money, and then after that, that's kind of when that ripple effect happened. Sans Blake Snell, because Blake Snell got fucked last year. So really cool realism. They said that the top market teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, things like that are going to be making a big come up. Also, it looks like we have the new offer screen here. You see that with the more you go up, the more that the motivation has gone up 13 or 15% because they got a really big offer. It's way more than the demand, which is great. Also, the interesting thing is they didn't really talk about contracts being more realistic in terms of money and years and all that, but they didn't really there doesn't seem to be a place where you can backload contracts or front load contracts or add options, at least from what we saw. I talked a lot about multiple opt-outs in contracts, how realistic that is today. It's not represented in MLB The Show. I wonder if that's coming in. Maybe we find more about that upcoming. But something I noticed kind of late was like, all right, this doesn't look like the screen where you can put an option in, whether front load or back load it, set the player role, things like that. So it'd be interesting to see what they got. But pretty cool that those big market teams are going to be leading the charge. Also, right here, 5% motivation boost. You gave the first competitive offer to the top free agent. He didn't sign that contract, but it adds a boost because he's going to be filled around that you got in that race first. And this is another one. You can go on and be the first to pounce on an offer and be like, hey, dog, I really want you on the team. That will get him a big boost, but you got to come correct. Matt Strom, unhappy that you're trying to basically burn him $3 million. So he's like, I'm going to decline you, and now my motivation to sign is less, so you're going to have to pony up even more. So that's interesting as well. So you can't just be, sending in lowball offers, hoping people sign. You got to give them what they want for the most part, which is pretty cool, especially the higher-rated guys. And here's the big board that they talk about, the blueprint for the offseason, as Roflo said. You notice right here, you get the plus whatever boost of motivation. You have to get to 50% to one lock. Pretty cool. We're in week 2 of free agency. Also seeing rumor talking to the verifying, where it's like, all right, maybe one of 3 of these teams are correct. I wonder how the rumored talking to is going to play out. It seems very, very, very interesting to me. Also, another thing I noticed, look at this, 85 overall starting pitcher wants $26 million a year. I talked about how some of the ratings and aren't getting the best contracts. Like in the Rockies franchise, I signed Jesus Luzardo, who was about an 85 overall B potential at the time, to like a $12 million a year contract. This is much more representative of today's money. Bo Bichette, 82 overall, 18 a year, 19 a year. That's way more representative of what today's market looks like. That middle ground tier I talked about. You can sign bad players for bad contracts. Good players usually got good contracts. That middle tier that seemed to be off a little bit, and it seems like they have fixed that here, hopefully. So very wonder how these rumor talking to. They don't show like what the actual offer is, which is what they do in the game now. So I like that. So they just got done talking about you got to prioritize correctly. If you're waiting on a guy, he might sign before he's ready to even listen to your offer. But if you go too soon, then maybe you could have got him on a better deal. So kind of dictating that market, finding out what it is really a top priority this year, which is good. So kind of make that plan, find out who you're going to be going after, make sure that you can go after them because you don't want to waste time looking for a Dylan Cease, Vlad Guerrero here in year 1. Wait. They don't sign with you. Well, now all the next 3 options have already signed. So got to play that smart. Right here, they're saying that sometimes players will come back with a take it or leave it deal. Right now, it looks like 3 teams are trying to sign Lane Thomas. He's in agreement with one of them. Giving you a chance. It looks like he meets both a need in center field and a need as a right-handed bat. So game recognizes that's something that you'd be interested in. Get in on this guy if you would like to. You'd still need to kind of get up, but it seems like even though he's not 50% motivation to sign, you're still able to offer him a contract. So that's pretty cool. They also mentioned coming up that some players will come to you. I think they use Jordan Romano as a example. Let's get there. Yeah, so here's the Jordan Romano thing I was talking about earlier. Definitely was not in the game until Pete Alonso threw out his offer. I can guarantee you that. That's my one prediction here, that this feature wasn't the players calling you, wasn't a thing until the SDS studios saw Pete Alonso giving a contract offer to the Mets. But yeah, so Jordan Romano kind of fits a need right here in you need a closing pitcher. He's on the free agent market like, it looks like it would be a fit. He would really like to sign here. Here's what we're looking for. You can either offer a contract, say you're not interested, or add in the big board and kind of learn more about it, maybe get that price down. So I think cool. I think this is the least realistic of the things, but again, it adds more choices, adds more flavor to it. I'm not going to hear about the contract demands. The demands are going to be higher. The demands are going to be more realistic. Talking about right here, sometimes you have to overspend to go get the guy you want. If the Atlanta Braves signed Kyle Tucker this year, then we're fucked. It's whatever. Don't even watch baseball. But yeah, sometimes you have to overpay for a guy. Sometimes you have to go out and get it, but also be careful. You don't want to hamper yourself with these deals. They talk about later in this, which we won't pause for, that they're updating the logic for trades and signings and things like that. Hopefully, there was one thing that I noticed while playing, over the years, that teams will sign players even if, like we talked about, I think specifically the Orioles in this Rockies franchise I had obviously Samuel Basallo and Adley Rutschman already in their system, and then they went out and signed Jonah Heim to a big deal. Like none of those, they all play catcher. You only need 2 catchers, and they have 3 pretty big catchers. So hopefully, with the position player block thing, that deters teams from having kind of that situation unfold. I'm also curious if you're trying to sign someone when you know you're going to use them in a different spot, like Vlad. So if you're going to do the Red Sox, right? And Vlad Guerrero is someone you want to go out, maybe make him your DH and play this like wild lineup. Is he not going to want to be there because Tristan Casas is there? Can you move Tristan Casas to like left field, sign Vlad Guerrero, and then just move Casas back to first because Vlad's going to be your DH or third baseman or whatever? Interesting to see how you can kind of manipulate that. Another thing that I thought of while watching this the first time. But yeah, so talking about the ups, they up the max offer you can do. I wonder what the max offer is right now in the game. I think it's like $39 million a year. Obviously, guys are getting more than that. I don't know if they're going to go into the 50 where Juan Soto is in real life, but interesting to see what they do with that. I think it's cool. But yeah. They talk about here the arbitration stuff, how it's going to be more realistic to real life, and arbitration numbers in the game are a lot lower than we see in real life. They don't show it at all, so it's kind of I'll see it when I get there. But for the most part, it looks like the player demand salary-wise is going to be better. And at the end of the video, we'll have some thoughts on what implications things have, but I like that at least for the first couple of years of the franchise. The last thing they talked about here is updated presentation. They also talked about the commentary team is back, Boo Shambi, Chris Singleton. They also mentioned that 2 female PA announcers. Let me try to get their names for you. Let me see. Renelle Brooks Moon, who does PA for Cincinnati, and Adrian Robertson, who does PA for Baltimore, are going to be in the game. Always cool. I wonder if they said they're going to be in association with or in supplementation with their guy that they've been doing for years. So I wonder if it's just when you play in Baltimore and Cincinnati, or if they're just going to be sprinkled in throughout. Also, they said these little league news tabs, which we'll play through here, pop up before the game starts. So this is cool for someone like me, obviously making content on the game. Just a little quick snapshot. There's something I pick from here. I can bring it into the game, or we can kind of make more of a thing about it. It could spark maybe a one-off episode about something, but just adds more levity and more ability to see this as its own little world, which I think is super cool. It's something little, something that maybe not everybody uses, but it doesn't hurt to have. Like, I don't think anyone's experience in the game is hampered because this is in there, but definitely can be increased because, or betterified is the word I'll make up right now because of it. So they have like league news, they have storylines, your farm report. So, this is the 2 teams going on, how their farm system looking out. This is the, breakdown of the farm system of Cleveland, which is pretty cool. Kind of shows back and forth. Travis Bazzano looks like he's making his MLB debut, or they're talking about him right now. So 3rd in the depth chart, 1st round pick, and all stuff that you want to kind of see, and it's good that you can see. Also, they'll show like today's stats so far, American League Rookie of the Year battle. So that's also super, super, super cool. And pre-order now, available 3/18 or whatever. So let's break down kind of my thoughts, and then we'll get at it. All right. So my first thought is, again, it's cool. We'll see if there's anything else in there that didn't make the premiere video, but it's cool. It's like Word. Still a lot that I think needs to happen for this game, and hopefully there's some things that I have talked about in my previous video. Again, go check that out if you have not already. Link will be in the description. I'll probably have something going on as well. I guess the question is like, is some of that stuff going to seep in? I hope so. My first big question is like, with all the contracts up, how is that going to work further out? I think a lot of the issues I have with the game tend to happen in year 8 and beyond, where it's a full league of your drafted players, the consequences of having X amount of A potentials and B potentials in the farm system. Now they're fully realized. Are those demands going to have a 2K-like thing where in 2K you have a bunch of like really good players not being on teams because of the way the salary cap works? You can't put guys on rosters because they're asking for too much money. People can't afford it. Question number 1, like, The free agency system is cool and fun and dandy, but how is that going to translate when you get into creative players in the free agent pool? I don't know. That's my one really big question here. How are all the other graphics going to tie in when you have those creative players? We'll have to see. But for the most part, I can't see this as they're adding stuff. And while, yeah, they could have went way deeper in it and really immersed you into the thing, it's just, I'm not naive enough to think that, not that they care about franchise, but, let's be honest. A lot of their devotion, a lot of their time, resources go into Diamond Dynasty. And the modes that make you or give you the ability to pay more money to play them. You'd rather have 3 people play your game and buy it twice than have 5 people buy your game right off the rip. That's just simple math. They make a whole bunch of money off Diamond Dynasty. A lot of people, make content on it and pay for it, and a lot of people on their own time pay for stubs and pay for packs and do all that. I understand that franchise gamers, we're the majority, but not it's like our government now. You got money, you have a say. You don't have money, you get what you get. But anyway, that's going to do it here. I'm excited for the game. Still going to get it early. Still going to get content out. Cool. So we'll see you next time. Have a fun one. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that. Check the links down below. Check the other videos out if you haven't watched this video or watched my video on what I would like to see in the game. We'll see you next time here in Tisbury 33 Games. And MLB The Show franchise coming soon, baby.